Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 282. Today is Thursday, June 27th, 2019, and I'm glad you can join me today. I'm not used to saying Thursday. So, I'm either late or early. What would it be? I did a decent amount of wandering around today, and I got back home and I didn't feel like doing anything, so I'm like, take a shower, I'll record, it'll be fine. So here I am, hydrating. It takes a lot of water. So on Friday I started playing Harry Potter Wizards Unite, and so I'm now a level 16 wizard. And it has resulted in me walking around a lot more, so not so bad. But this weekend there was a serious lack of fun, so it was probably for the best that I didn't record this weekend. So here we are now. It is nice and quiet, and it shouldn't be too bad. So you'll notice that things are looking a little bit different. So I've rearranged the knitting room and hidden most of the things, as in packed in a box and shoved in a closet. There's only so much one can do. So it's not perfect, but it's better. So we're gonna go with that. So as a result, I ended up putting some things that I had in front of the window over here, so that's why you can see my spindles and my ball winder. It's pretty terrifying, ball winder. Yeah, you can start to see that. It's pretty terrifying. And my Swifts down there. I have my box of donations for SSK, which is coming up super duper fast. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna have to decline my husband's phone call because it's 9 o'clock and that's when he normally calls. So whatever, such is life. He'll probably, I don't know. I sent him a text, it should be okay. I know it's not important, so. Or if he does call again, maybe. But if you immediately hang up on him, he thinks like the internet was broken or something, and so he'll keep trying. How do I know? Whatever. So, I have to show you guys this ridiculous bundle. So I'm working on my NR wrap. It is, I feel like I just pulled stitches out. I did. Okay. That makes me feel slightly better. So I'm working on my NR wrap. This is an Amba O'Brien pattern that I am knitting out of Canon hand dyes in 7 different colors. The neutral color is Naked Bruce, and then I have a jewel tone gradient that is in Leo, which is a merino cashmere silk, which is super yummy. I don't have different adjectives for this yarn. Unfortunately, I think I'm almost at the end of the row instead of the beginning, so I guess I'm gonna have to. Ooh, I got a little bad. I got a little weird. Yeah, it was even weirder than I thought it was. Well, so you'll see that this is in a tight little bundle. And that is because I was trying to minimize bad stuff happening to it. And the best way to do that or the best way that I found to do that was to actually daisy chain the project. So I think this was the case where this was like a Russian knitter thing. I believe it was something that I learned about in Franklin Habit's lace class. So I decided to try it out, and it seems to be working decently well. So what I am doing, so now I'm gonna have to fix this on the camera, but whatever. I guess this makes for a slightly longer show. Whatever. So I decided to daisy chain it because for some reason the project had a habit of falling on the ground and dragging a little bit, and that wasn't doing good things to it, and I didn't want to cause it to do great things. So let's see. Okay, it looks like we've recovered. Okay, so I didn't really want to make the yarn look ratty. So what I am doing is, or would be, so if you've played around with fiber, oftentimes fiber is actually daisy chained as well, or it comes in a daisy chain. So this is my daisy chain shawl, and you can actually get like a pretty good sense of like the colors and how they're coming together as well. But you just pull on it and it comes right out. So since we're ready for that step, so this is the shawl so far. It's a little bit scrunched up on this end because of the daisy chaining, but it's probably fine. Oh no, I wasn't quite recovered, but I can fix that later. Whatever. So this is the yarn wrap. I am currently actually in, I'm back to the dark teal again. So this is a neutral block with dark teal accents. And then my next block is going to be the bluish purple. So I just finished all blue, but whatever. Such is life. So this means that I'm past the 2/3 mark on this project, which is exciting, and it's not too crazy. So it's going along. It's my travel knitting, and I've been keeping it contained, and I think it worked fairly well. It's just a little bit harder to stuff in my bag, but it seems to be a little bit less likely to have funniness happen to it. So I think it's going to be a decent plan, and maybe I can line up. And what I did was I just tied a knot here at the end of the shawl, and then I am pulling loops in order to chain it back up again. And so with that, things are just a little bit neater, and it doesn't really affect the knitting all that much. So the shawl is now taking up far less room, which is good. And so I can sort of stuff that in my bag a little bit better and go from there. So a little bit of dark teal. So excited to be making progress on that. I had problems where I hadn't read the pattern, and so I just need to be more careful. So living in my mystery bag that I got from my mother-in-law. So the other project is my sweater. So this is, ooh, we're awkwardly in the middle of the row. You see, I wasn't entirely prepared for podcasting. So, this is the vitamin D. It is a Heidi Kermeyer pattern. I am knitting it out of Claudia Hand Dyes Contemplation lace, which is a linen lace weight yarn in the Lone Star colorway. This is going to be like my Texas souvenir. So, I am currently on a purl back row, which isn't a big deal. I am alternating skeins at the far underarm right now, and I am stinking close to doing the sleeves really, really soon. But this is actually the purl back row for the last round of increases. So I have a couple more rows after that, and then I can start the sleeves. And that'll be nice because there will be far less sweater on the needles, and that'll be good. And yeah, because the rows are getting pretty long at this point, and I'm sure it'll only get more insane as I go. Such is life. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about if I want to make any modifications, or if I wanted to make modifications or not. It's like, why? So it's the case where the front is significantly shorter than the back, which is implemented by short rows, and I just sort of need to sit down and think about whether or not I want them to be like more shallow than what the pattern calls for, so that the front is closer to the same length as the back, or I just have to accept the swinginess of it all. And then after the short rows are complete, then it has like radial increases on the front part. So whatever, you can tell this from the pattern pictures. So I don't know, it's not yet time to decide. I will probably be alternating my first skein and my third skein for the sleeves. I'll knock both of those out because the pattern highly recommends that you do that right away. And I will need to put this project on holders I will have to put the project on holders while I'm working on the sleeves, because I only have one US 2.5 3mm needle. And I guess I'm going to work them as the pattern calls for, which is to work them flat. So I'll be purling all day long. Well, I guess I'm purling now, but it's not like it's a big deal. But yes. So it hasn't been too crazy on the pooling front, but I am sure short rows may make it interesting. I think it is a simple enough pattern and a gauzy enough fabric that you can still actually see the eyelet pattern that's forming as I'm going. I am a little bit concerned because it looks like I am getting some bigger pooling going on now. I'm not quite sure if I want to do anything about that or not. Because it is such a gauzy fabric, you can't do the trick where you end up pulling the length of yarn to get it to be mixed up. Because whatever, all my ends I think are going to be reasonably obvious. So, such is life. But this hasn't been getting too much love. it's primarily been a work at midnight and work at home project. I haven't been carrying it around with me. So there's a room in my bag for, or would it be the 4-skein project? Plenty. I don't need to throw a 3-skein project in there. Oh well. So, as a result, it only gets sporadic progress because it's living in my giant blue bag from DFW Fiberfest and not my regular bag. Though there might be times where this would be a more refreshing project. Maybe when I get to the short rows that might be attractive, or maybe it'll be the case where in order to prioritize these items for Stash Dash, I may just go monogamous on the sweater. Once I finish the NR wrap, I know for a fact that I am way closer to being done on that project than I am this one. And maybe it'll be the case where I can like move around the sleeves and it won't be a big deal. Can't predict these things. But I don't necessarily, because I'm such a loose knitter, and I hardly tension my yarn at all. I don't find linen to be particularly bad to work with, which I suppose was a nice thing for living in this climate. What was it? This lace sleeve linen, I totally wish I had the sweater done already because I would totally be wearing it. Or would be just because it's so light, like a fun little bit of color, not a whole lot going on. So it'd be the case where maybe I would need to own slightly different foundational garments. Maybe foundational garments is the wrong word, but what would it be? I can definitely see a situation in which having a tank top with like wider sleeves would be really helpful to have. But considering how much I enjoy shopping and how little time I have to chill out, I don't want to spend my time looking for it. But I could totally see how a black or white tank would look super cute with this. I guess I do have two sort of fancier shirts that are sleeveless, so options. What would it be? I've become far more casual in my workwear, so it'd be the case where I don't end up having a lot of chances to break them out. So, whatever. Let's see. Still not done with this row. Apparently I was much closer to the other end than this end, or that's how long these rows are taking. I just added 50 bajillion stitches to this, so it's taking even longer now. I guess it must have been the case where I got tired. Oh well. I'm like so close. I can unfurl it briefly for you guys before I put it back in its bag for a while. Whatever. It'll probably get worked on tomorrow night. It'll be fine. What else? Really? I'm like stalling and I have nothing. Nothing at all. So let's see. I do really like the colors of the yarn. It's probably more pastel than I would normally go for, but the overall impression of the yarn is, what would be sort of, the impression that I get of the yarn is blue, and then with like the green and purple as well. So that's not too crazy. I have like a weird tangle. So, based upon how close I am right now to SSK, I am inclined to believe that this is going to be one of my primary projects. I'm waiting to see if that comes back. Okay. Weird things happened. The camera got sort of frozen. So this is probably going to be one of my primary projects for SSK. I'm hoping that I can finish the NR rep before SSK, because that would be super. And then maybe I can pick something else to do as well. One thing that like caught my eye was, I think, a pattern that I saw Amy of the Stockinette Zombies knitting. It's called the Modulancho, and it looked really cool. Maybe it's silly to want ponchos, but I thought it looked really interesting. And then I was, I don't know, it seemed intriguing to me. So I don't know if it's the case where like I'm on the lookout for a poncho thing again. Would it be, you'd think Viajante would be enough. And maybe that would actually be like a really good project to start, would be a Viajante, because it would be pretty mindless. And it would be the case where I am planning on knitting one for my cousin. So working on the tube could be a really good choice. And then I'm going to be picking a purple yarn from the Woolmeisa stash in Exile. I'm just looking over at the stash in Exile. I did reserve, what would it be? One purple skein for that. Because, like, what would it be? Just knowing the way things are going to end up working out, having some mindless knitting would probably be a big plus. The other option would be to start my Ridiculous Boxy. Not sure. I'm guessing, or what, because I'd also like to knit a pair of Joris for my nephews. I concluded that just reading that pattern made a lot of sense. And I have some here in mine, should be good. Or I think I see it on there. Yeah, okay, I see it. So but I think that's gonna be a little bit too salty for SSK. I don't know. It'll be really nice to be on a vacation. I can't wait for it to start. So this is where I am so far on my vitamin D. So I have this many eyelets here, more eyelets there. I'm really trying to smooth it out so you guys can actually see. So you can still see the eyelets in the pattern, so I don't think that's too crazy. Like poor contrast with wool. I swear, contrast with me is going to be fine. It's like, yeah. I suppose this is going to be the sort of sweater where what you're wearing underneath will affect the color greatly. And now I need to get these guys back on the needles. It hasn't been a good day for keeping things on the needles, has it? So coming along nicely. Doesn't get a whole lot of love, but it might be getting more love once it reaches the sleeve stage, because I would like some progress. And then in order to keep everything contained, what was it? It's apparently a much better choice to pull from the outside of the ball with these guys, because linen doesn't want to stick to itself. So I actually, my friend Sarah actually let me have one of these footies, and it's working great at keeping the ball contained. So it's just like a little bit of pressure to keep everything in, and it's nice. And some sort of crazy sparkle fiber that came from her too. So, pulling from the outside, it seems to be holding together way better. So I'll probably pull the third skein from the outside too. And so I haven't incorporated this one yet, but I might start doing that soon, because it seems like I managed to get a pretty decent amount of that done. So the cool thing about this sweater is like there really is very little finishing at the very end, so it's just a matter of what would it be? Getting those sleeve stitches off, so I have a little bit less to work with. So that is the knitting and the potential of future knitting while I was delaying for time. I can't remember if I worked on my little spindle project. I don't think I did this week, but I did manage to get a little bit more done on my seconds. So this is how much I have left. So I have I have 8 nests left to spin. I don't remember how many I started with though, so whatever. It's not being well quantified. And then this is what I have done so far. So it's a very interesting color, especially when I'm seeing it through the light. So it'd be the case where I'm definitely seeing the purple and the green in there, but maybe on the screen it's coming out more of like a navy color. Whatever. So I don't think I have too much more to go. But I brought my wheel up Saturday in the hopes of podcasting, and it's Thursday now, so I had good intentions. So I will have to probably bring that back downstairs. I may actually pack up my wheel and do a decent amount of spinning and knitting tomorrow. It seems like the right choice. Because that's the only way that I'm going to get more yardage for Stash Dash. I forgot to do a Stash Dash update last week. Not that I finished anything this week, but I can look it up quick. So, because I don't think I had actually measured what was going on. Alright, so I have 6,413 meters done for Stash Dash right now, which is, I don't know, pretty respectable. And what would it be? I'm not sure how far my various projects are going to get me. I really need to spin quite a lot. Would be, I think, in order to make a more ridiculous goal. And I haven't been spinning a lot recently. I've been knitting the sweater. I've been cleaning the house. I'm still cleaning the house. It seems quite futile. I might just be perpetually cleaning the house. um, I was hoping to have put the house on the market today, but that didn't happen because of the Not Fun weekend. What was it? We ended up using a power washer and a shop vac to dig a hole under our patio so that we could fix the broken sprinkler head stub, so that we could, like, not have a giant, like, slab leak under our whatever near our house. That's a big sin. I don't do that. So, as a result, it went extremely well, but it did take an exceedingly long time. So, I think it made it to Plan B, and I don't think Plan A was very realistic, but Plan B worked, so. What was it? We made a big enough hole that our friend could get in there and unscrew the broken thing, and we screwed on a new thing, and it's done. So, it shouldn't be too crazy, but it's just like, and then, while the Dear Sweet Little One was in town, he helped take care of the worst room in the house, which is his. This may mean that my room is now the worst room in the house, but I live here. It was like I get to keep some of my hobby stuff around, so as a result, I have to deal with the aftermath of all of the things that we ended up putting in boxes, but that shouldn't be terrible. So we can probably finally schedule the photographer to come and take pictures of the house, and then we'll be able to get it rolling. So we tried. We didn't succeed, or it would have been the case where I was like inside the house cleaning the entire time that like the hole was being dug, and that wasn't gonna fly either. So, and while the hole was being dug, I did a lot of things outside in the yard that needed to get done anyways. So things are coming together, but it's bad for knitting. So that is the update there. Want to be everyone pressing thumbs that I like whatever. Finally can move to San Francisco. Just all of the feels. But what would it be? It still feels like it's at least, or what would it be? It'd be the case where I think I'm in the stage where it's still at least a month. And could be longer, so whatever. So I should be able to record not this weekend, but next weekend. What would it be? I'm gonna be busy this weekend, so we're going with the midweek episode to sort of hold this in between. That should be fun. Yeah. So it's looking like the 6th or the 7th is going to be way better. So, yeah, I think, I'm not, or would it be? I just realized. So, I don't know if I've talked too much on the podcast about, what would it be, the anti-racism work that I've been doing. So it was the case where, what was it, last week, Ravelry banned, discussing, or open support of Donald Trump on the platform. And, because he has become a symbol and a code for white supremacy. And it was the case where it was like, whoa. So I've been keeping track of what's been happening on Instagram, and I've been trying to diversify my feed and listen to people who have different views and different experiences. And what would it be? I would say I was probably doing a pretty good job on the LGBTQ plus side of things, but I wasn't doing as well on the POC side of things. And it'd be the case where examining what would be my own fragility, the ways that I've acted racist in the past, and like, oh my gosh. Trying to understand what's productive and what's not productive. And so it was very interesting because I'd sort of been through that and sort of had an awakening with respect to, ooh, this is something that I need to do better at. And it was very interesting to see the reaction on Ravelry and the sort of groups that I hang out with, and sort of seeing that like fragility and privilege being displayed. And so what I tried to do when I saw it was offer suggestions about things that they could do to learn more if they were interested, because, like, don't be a jerk. So two resources that have come highly recommended and I still need to go to the library and check out is White Fragility, and the other one is Why I'm Not Talking to White People About Race. So, and I'm sure that there are other resources as well, but, like, what would it be? Step 1, make sure that you're looking at a diversity of views from people who are marginalized. Step number 2, like, educate yourself about what's going on, because I thought that I was good, but no. And I think a third step that makes an awful lot of sense is, what would it be? Showing your support for the people who have it. What would it be? Like, show your support for these makers, these artists, these sorts of things. What would it be? It's been very interesting to examine my reactions. And it was the case where I was talking with one of my good friends, the one who went into the hole. It was like, I know that I screw up, but I want to do better. You know what I mean? So, I hope you guys feel the same way, or I hope you guys are open to going on this journey with me as well. So, when things are less insane and I actually have some time to go to the library, which possibly could be this weekend, who knows, what would it be? I think when you put me between a rock and a hard place, like, it was like, there are a lot of things I'd like to do other than clean. But if it was the case where I can alternate, like, reading a book and cleaning, maybe that's not so bad. But I hope you guys take this as an invitation to learn more, because what would it be? I don't want to unwittingly harm people. So I hope you guys feel the same way too. So thanks for bearing through that with me. I forgot and then I remembered. But we'll make it work. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.